No. No. You don't have to share screen. You don't need to share screen. Yeah, I'm just opening it for my own references. Okay, I'm not taking. First, we can share screen. And they will try to conversation. Now, after what's the really with them, I have to talk to you. Yeah. You understand that because me. We send in the group. I use by your coordinator. Right? No, I am not. I Jaya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम् हरे कृष्ण ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ततो विनिश्वसरि ततो विनिश्वस्य सति विहाय ततो विनिश्वस्य सति विहायतम् ततो विनिश्वस्य सति विहायतम् शोकेन रोषेण च दूयता हृदा पितृरगात् स्त्रैण विमूढधीर्गृहान् पितृरगात् स्त्रैण विमूढधीर्गृहान् प्रेम्णात्मनो योर्दमदात् सतां प्रियः प्रेम्णात्मनो योर्धम् अदात् सतां प्रियः 443 ततो विनिश्वस्य सति विहायतम् शोकेन रोषेण च तूयता हृदा पित्रोरगात् स्त्रैण विमूढधीर्गृहान् प्रेम्णात्मनो योर्दमदात् सतां प्रियः ततो विनिश्वस्य सति विहायतम् शोकेन दोषेण च दूयता विपित्रोरगात्स्त्रेण विमूढधीर्गृहान् प्रेम्णात्मनो योर्दमदात् सतां प्रियः. What is? ततो विनिश्वस्य सति विहायतम् शोकेन रोषेण च दूयता हृदा पित्रोरगात्रेण विमूढधीर्गृहान् प्रेम्णात्मनो योद्धमदात् सतां प्रियः. ततः, then, Vinishwasya, breathing very heavily, Sati, Vihaya, leaving, Tam, him, Lord Shiva, Shokena, by bereavement, Roshena, by anger, Cha, and Duyata, afflicted, Hrida, with the heart, Pitro, of her father, Agat, she went, Straina, by her womanly nature, Vimudha, deluded, Dhi, intelligence, Grihan, to the house, Premna, due to affection, Atmanaha, of his body, Yaha, who, Ardham, half, Adat, gave, Satam, to the saintly, Priyaha, dear. Translation purport by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki. Thereafter, Sati left her husband, Lord Shiva, who had given her half his body due to affection. Breathing very heavily because of anger and bereavement, she went to the house of her father. This less intelligent act was due to her being a weak woman. Purport Srila Prabhupada ki jai. According to the Vedic conception of family life, the husband gives half his body to his wife, and the wife gives half of her body to her husband. In other words, a husband without a wife or a wife without a husband is incomplete. Vedic marital relationship existed between Lord Shiva and Sati, but sometimes due to weakness, a woman becomes very much attracted by the members of her father's house, and this happened to Sati. In this verse, it is specifically mentioned that she wanted to leave such a great husband as Shiva because of her womanly weakness. In other words, womanly weakness exists even in the relationship between husband and wife. Generally, separation between husband and wife is due to womanly behavior. Divorce takes place due to womanly weakness. The best course for a woman is to abide by the orders of her husband. This makes family life very peaceful. Sometimes there may be misunderstandings between husband and wife, as found even in such elevated family relationships as that of Sati and Lord Shiva. But a wife should not leave her husband's protection because of such a misunderstanding. If she does so, it is understood to be due to her womanly weakness. Again, ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So, अनार्पित चरिम चिराट करुणायावतीर्ण कलो समर्पयितुम उन्नतोज्ज्वल रसाम सबक्ति श्रियम हरि पुरट सुंदर द्युति कदम्ब संदीपिता सदा हृदय कंदरे स्फुरतु वा सचिनंदन. Shri Sachidanand Gaura Hari Ki Jai. So we have to keep, before we start anything, we have to keep things in perspective. That why are we in devotional life? What are we doing in devotional life? That is the most important thing. Everything else, all other relationships, including family, is all secondary ultimately. Because I mean, for most of the persons in the Zoom call online, I beg the blessings of all of you, far more elevated than me, especially His Grace Kishore Prabhu, uh, especially His Grace Kishore Prabhu and all the devotees. So, um, you're all devotees here. This is all serious discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. So, you're all devotees, right? Devotee is not a small thing. Um, a Vaishnav, to be called a Vaishnav, someone is a Vaishnav, it's a very elevated thing. So, what is a Vaishnav? A Vaishnav is someone, according to Chaitanya Charitamrita, is actually a Paramahamsa. It's a very high thing, actually. So, we are living in such a setting. We are not living in some compromised material setting. You know, we are living in a very elevated setting. We are living in families. These families are not ordinary families. Very elevated conception. That's what Prabhupada. And what did Prabhupada say? Our society, our society, our society actually is a society. What did Prabhupada say? Prabhupada says society is society where there is no envy. So that's a very high thing actually. So the first thing is we are devotees of Lord Chaitanya. So what is the devotees of Lord Chaitanya? What is their standard? You know, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says Brahmar Durlabha Prem. That which is very, very, very rare. Um, even in case of Brahma and Lord Shiva, um, that actually we are getting, that we are getting. So we are very, very fortunate to be in the society of Krishna consciousness. So first thing is that our goal is very high. Our goal is to attain love of Godhead before leaving this body, not after, but before. That is our goal. That's why we're living as a family. So that is our primary purpose. First, our relationship among devotees, because we are living in ashrams, and in ashram, the primary relationship between persons is that we are helping each other to elevate our consciousness in bhakti. That is our primary responsibility. So, first, keeping that in perspective, it's very important to understand that our relationship, whether as friends, as husband, as wife, as is all temporary at most. At most. Please, Holiness Haladhar Maharaj says that at most, if we are very successful in this material world, then the greatest thing we can achieve is we can achieve the greatest. I mean, if everything is perfect, we follow our dharmas properly, our ashrams properly, the most we can achieve is material prosperity, which is temporary, which is temporary. So, given that perspective, we are not here. We should be very clear. I was reflecting on myself also. We are not here to become perfect grahasthas, perfect brahmacharis, perfect vanaprasthis, or perfect sannyasis. Neither are we here to become perfect brahmanas, perfect kshatriyas, perfect vaishnavas, perfect vaishyas, or perfect shudras. So we are not here for any of those things. So we should not get too much caught up in the temporary bodily conception of life, because ultimately it's just a vehicle. Ashram is just a vehicle for us to become a pure devotee. So that is very important for us to understand. So here, if we analyze the situation, see, this is the most elevated relationship. Many people want to be, I mean, speak about perfect relationships in this world. This is a perfect relationship between husband and wife. I mean, think about the kind of attachment Sati has to Lord Shiva or Parvati has to Lord Shiva. Chitraketu, later in the Bhagavatam, he just laughed at Lord Shiva. I mean, it was just a friendly relationship between them. He didn't even say anything about Mother Parvati, but Mother Parvati cursed Chitraketu just for this small thing, and I mean, just seeing from the impartially, just seeing from the perspective of Parvati or Sati, the same person, that see the how much affection she has for her husband, and that same person here is disobeying the husband, right? So that means that on the Sati and Lord Shiva, they are enacting this pastime to show that actually at most, even if the husband is very, wife is very chaste, and all these things, the even in the most perfect situation, disagreement will agree. I mean, will happen. So therefore, ultimately, this relationship with husband and wife based on the bodily conception doesn't work. Just doesn't work. Any relationship on the bodily conception never works. Why? Because it's a bodily conception ultimately. And the bodily conception means the false ego. So Sati or Parvati is actually personifying the false ego. The false ego can never be satisfied. The false ego as a husband or wife can never be satisfied. It can be satisfied to some extent, but it never can be fully satisfied. And when it's not fully satisfied, even if it's 99% satisfied, that 1% dissatisfaction can lead to whatever. So the very important thing is that in our society, Prabhupada told Yamuna, right? Mother Yamuna was a very exalted devotee. Prabhupada said actually she is on the level of Bhava Bhakti, very elevated. That's why Prabhupada instituted Govinda Madi Purusham to be played every day. So Prabhupada said she's on the level of Bhava, very high platform. So one time Prabhupada asked Mother Yamuna that, do you think you're a woman? And of course, Mother Yamuna, taking a very humble position, she said, yes, Prabhupada, I'm very fallen. Prabhupada said, no, you're a Vaishnava. You're a Vaishnava. So when it comes to a Vaishnava relationship, what is a Vaishnava relationship? A Vaishnava relationship is actually based on, in our society, it's based on Srila Prabhupada. So if the husband or the wife keeps Prabhupada's words as a standard, then there is no problem. There is no problem. Because Prabhupada gave us the perfect way to fulfill both things. How to keep the body and the society, how to keep all that intact, and at the same time, how to reach perfection, Krishna consciousness. Like, there is no need for the husband to leave the wife or the wife to leave the husband, but provided that uh, we all follow Prabhupada's instructions, then we can all achieve perfection. Right? Otherwise, even staying in the temple, if I think that, oh, I want to be a great brahmachari, and I'm thinking of brahmachari. What is brahmachari? Brahmachari means a very austere person. Then I'll just become very proud. I just become very proud, and in the name of wanting to be a serious brahmachari, I will I will lose the goal of being a devotee. So our goal is to become a devotee. What is a devotee? A devotee means someone who is fully surrendered, fully dependent on Krishna. So um, the teaching from Prabhupada's purport mm, is that disagreements are common. Disagreements are common to the extent that one is on the bodily conception of life, disagreements are common. And mm, yes, it is not easy. It is definitely not easy. Many times when I deal with children or I see devotee families dealing with children, it's very difficult because if you're dealing only on the basis of sadhana, only on the basis of service to Krishna, that is a different thing. But ultimately, parents have to tell children to eat, parents have to tell children to go to school. We're not living in a completely isolated Krishna conscious world. We're living in a material world, which is very difficult. And so definitely, um, it is not easy. So, what is very important is that both uh, devotees, husband and wife, they should understand that um, this is the nature of this world, and the more and more uh, devotees can make good relationship is actually by having Krishna conscious um, association. So Krishna conscious association is the way to build a relationship. Actually, this is very scientific also, that unless Krishna inspires you to respect someone, you cannot respect someone. And Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for us to appreciate his sweetness, we have to study 9 cantos of Bhagavatam, right? We have to study so much about his greatness. It's very important. Because otherwise, without that gravity, our love for Krishna, even if it manifests, it will be very sentimental, and we will think Krishna is some power devil. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although Krishna is playing with his friends, but Krishna is Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya Yasasya Shriyaha Jnanam Vairagyasya Shanam Bhagavatingana. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the controller of controllers. Right? So it's very important to understand and to appreciate that. Otherwise, our love for Krishna will also become very, very superficial. So in the same way, if there has to be like affection relationship between two people, then there has to be very deep respect. Now, how can that respect be cultivated? Only when Krishna inspires. So when two people come together, just because two people come together due to official relationship, of course there is some bonding, there is some understanding, but for that relationship to be strong, one has to engage in Krishna conscious association. Otherwise, there can be no relationship building. Relationship is based on Krishna. Krishna, we have to get this very, speak for myself, very clear. Krishna is the center of the relationship. Krishna is the one who creates the relationship. Krishna is the one who maintains the relationships. And if we leave Krishna, Krishna is the one who will destroy the relationship. Any relationship in this world. Therefore, we have to keep Krishna in the center, and we have to keep especially Prabhupada in the center. You know. So like one devotee couple was telling me one time something, that why is this person not taking bath before chanting? He should take bath before chanting. I said, Prabhupada never instituted that. Where did Prabhupada say that you have to take bath before chanting the holy name? Prabhupada himself, although is an eternally liberated soul, eternal associate of the Lord, Prabhupada used to, at night, after sleeping from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., Prabhupada used to just, wake up, wash his hands, mouth, and feet, and start chanting the holy name or doing his service. So if we follow Prabhupada's words strictly, then there'll be no problem anywhere. What did Prabhupada do? Prabhupada actually made the external arrangements in the society, very simple and very practical. Like, where did Prabhupada never said you should do Nijolo Nikadasi. Prabhupada never said that. Prabhupada said you can eat prasad. Prabhupada never said you should avoid sweets. Prabhupada never gave anything impractical. So practical. Prabhupada is so practical. That's why if you follow Prabhupada, if someone follows Prabhupada, there is no chance for any disagreement. There is no chance for any disagreement. So we just have to follow Prabhupada. So the basis of Prabhupada's purports, we have to read Prabhupada's purports, we have to perform Sankirtan of the holy name, and then very easily we can achieve progress in Krishna consciousness. Right? So we should have full faith in Prabhupada and we should have full dependence on Prabhupada. That's very important. That's very important. And we should not ever mix Hinduism with Krishna consciousness. Many times people do this, they mix Hinduism with Krishna consciousness. So when you mix Hinduism with Krishna consciousness or traditional, non-Krishna conscious, practices, what happens is our faith at the lotus feet of Guru and Gauranga, becomes, it's not unflinching. So actually, when we have unflinching faith in Prabhupada as our guru, as our protector in the society, then Prabhupada will arrange everything, But the moment we deviate from Prabhupada's instructions, then we may be successful, we may not be successful. So that's why that we should never emphasize, like strongly emphasize, especially if someone is not ready on things that Prabhupada did not say. And Prabhupada gave everything. Like Prabhupada wrote about everything, Prabhupada spoke about everything. So as long as devotees are trying to their level best, trying to follow Krishna conscious practices, even if they're not able to come to the temple regularly, they come once a week, or whenever there is service for the Sunday feast and for the satsang, then as long as devotees do that, Prabhupada is very pleased. One time Prabhupada told in a lecture that Prabhupada said that when Grihasthas come and render service, this is live, Prabhupada said that service is even more valuable than a person who is doing full time at the temple. Because Prabhupada said that they're managing their family, they're managing their work, they're doing so many things, and on top of that, they're coming and doing service to Krishna. So Prabhupada is very pleased. And what is Prabhupada's teachings? The main thing of Prabhupada's teachings, number one, is chanting the holy name, chanting Hare Krishna. Right? And the next thing Prabhupada stressed is, again and again, Prabhupada says, is hearing. Hearing. So if you cannot come to the temple, that's all right. At least hearing at home, hearing Bhagavatam every day, hearing Prabhupada's purports every day. And then what did Prabhupada say? Prabhupada said the next thing is preaching, spreading Krishna consciousness, like giving books or anything. So these things, and the last thing, of course, Prabhupada said prasadam. So these four things, if we follow of what Prabhupada said, then there is no problem. There is no problem at all. There's no need for unnecessarily to feel that, oh, I'm a grihastha, I'm fallen. There's no need to feel, because in Prabhupada's eyes, there's no difference. There's no difference between someone who is maintaining their home, maintaining their family for the service of Krishna, and at the same time, someone who is serving the temple full time. There is no difference. According to Prabhupada, Prabhupada told one grihastha that you are as good as a sannyasi. You are as good as a sannyasi. And we see in our movement, like Vaishika Prabhu, in the early days, I heard from a spiritual master, there was a time that he was not actively, contributing in the way he's contributing now. He was busy with his family. But even in that time, he was going on book distribution, he was reading Prabhupada's books. And we can see the fruit that he's a super exalted devotee, super exalted. So therefore, what we can understand is Prabhupada's process is perfect. And all of you in this call, all of you are following perfectly. So as long as we follow, we put Prabhupada in the center, we read about Krishna, we hear about Krishna, we tell our children about Krishna, then what happens is that the relationship becomes solid, because Krishna will inspire one person to respect another person, because Krishna is the one who actually maintains the relationship. So this amazing example is there, right? Shivananda Sen. Shivananda Sen, if you see in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, Shivananda Sen, he was responsible for maintaining all the devotees, taking care of all the devotees. And one time, what happened? Nityananda Prabhu, when Shivananda Sen was trying to arrange for his accommodation, Nityananda Prabhu actually he kicked Shivananda Sen on the chest, right? Now, if someone kicks you on the chest, that's first of all, according to materialistic understanding, it may be very humiliating or very embarrassing. But right in front of his family, it was done. But still, what happened? Shivananda Sen did not react. Shivananda Sen had full faith. And then what happened is when they went to Puri, every day they received Lord Chaitanya's remnants. Every day. Every day. Like, what can be um, more enlivening or more happy for a family together? Everyone is receiving the remnants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly, right? So this shows that actually that this is the power of having this kind of one-pointed dependence on the Lord and the Lord's instructions. Another example, Shivas Thakur. Shivas Thakur, he had such attachment to Lord Chaitanya that uh, when his son died, Shivas Thakur told his wife not to cry. And yes, they cried quietly and they didn't disturb Lord Chaitanya. And as a result of that, after so many hours, Lord Chaitanya actually said that your family is my family. So this is the glory. This is the glory of Krishna conscious Grihastha life. That Lord Chaitanya will be there, Lord Nityananda will be there. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that when I come home, from my work and I see the Aarti ceremony, I feel I am in Golok Vrindavan, I am in the spiritual world. So this means that the process works. What is the process? The process is attachment to Krishna. Attachment to Krishna and Krishna only. Strong relation with Guru and Gauranga. If you have strong relationship with Guru and Gauranga, then everything will be wonderful. Everything will be perfect. No problem at all. So as long as we keep Prabhupada's words as the basis, then there is no problem at all. And also another thing, Prabhupada also gives different levels of surrender. So for those who cannot accept Prabhupada fully, then Prabhupada says, okay, at least do this. If you cannot give your full time and energy, at least uh, give your money. If you cannot give your money, then at least with your words, glorify the devotees. So at every level, Srila Prabhupada has actually given us a way to actually appreciate and love this ISKCON movement. So as long as we take shelter of Prabhupada, we have faith in Prabhupada, then there is no problem. There is no problem. So the ideal relationship is stressed here, that if the husband is surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the wife is chaste, then the relationship is perfect. But also, it is very important to understand that this does not in any way undermine the position of the wife. But basically, the point is, as long as the husband and the wife are completely focused on pure devotional service, actually, the first thing for us to pursue this path of bhakti is we should be very proud of our goal. The goal that we are trying to reach is very, very lofty, is very wonderful. And even for Lord Brahma, even for Lord Shiva, we're reading about Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is actually um, the guard keeper of the Rasa Leela in the spiritual world. So it's a very elevated position. So even for Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, mm, it's very, very rare. This love of Godhead is very, very rare. So we are pursuing that thing. So we are so fortunate. We're so fortunate. So we are aiming at something way beyond what people in this world can even think of. That's how amazing our goal is, our process is. So we should not compete or we should not compare with any common, grihastha or common person in this world because um, our aim is way beyond, is way beyond. And ultimately, we are actually following Srila Prabhupada. And who is Srila Prabhupada? Prabhupada is the most intimate associate, one of the most intimate associates of the Supreme Lord, and most intimate associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'll just tell one more pastime about the glory of Prabhupada's mercy. How powerful is Prabhupada's mercy? So actually, this is a real story, real pastime of a Prabhupada disciple uh, that that person was actually found working at the workplace, and this is a karmi person, not a devotee. He actually heard the Maha Mantra coming from this Prabhupada disciple. He was not chanting, he was doing some work. So this is the power of Prabhupada's mercy. So if we follow the process, if we follow this Krishna conscious process, we will attain such a stage, that we will, even though we may have a home, we have a family, so many things, but we'll attain such a stage that we can always chant the holy name. We can always think of Krishna. Mm. So we should have this kind of unflinching faith and unflinching love for Srila Prabhupada. And that can be the bonding factor. Unflinching faith in Guru, unflinching faith in Prabhupada. That is the bonding factor in the family. Whenever there is any disagreement, the best thing to do is just to go to Prabhupada's words. And then Prabhupada will resolve everything. Will resolve everything. And of course, Prabhupada's representatives are there to resolve. So main problem is, I'm speaking for myself, the main problem in devotee life is hankering and lamenting. So if we hanker for something that we want in the future, or we lament for something that we don't have, we have not attained in the past, then it causes unnecessary agitation. Right? So when you become agitated, you cannot think of Krishna. We cannot be in Krishna consciousness. But at the same time, lamenting due to lack of advancement in bhakti in a healthy way is very good, and hankering for a higher stage of bhakti is very good. There is no problem in that. There is no problem. So, how do we attain this stage of neither hankering nor lamenting? And how can we always live in the present? Yeah, we can do this by living according to proper instructions. So if we live according to Prabhupada's instructions and don't have any unnecessary expectations, or don't compare ourselves with uh, any mundane person in this world, one thing very important is that our path is different. As devotee, our path is different. Like this Sri Srila Prabhupada's example, this is why Prabhupada actually enacted his pastime in this world. According to common, material conception, Prabhupada's example in this world Where was Prabhupada until he was 70? According to quote unquote material calculation, Prabhupada was nowhere. Prabhupada was doing his service very nicely. Prabhupada was deeply absorbed in his sadhana. Prabhupada was doing everything. But then you see how Prabhupada was glorified all over the world. So this shows that if we simply do our duty in Krishna consciousness and just be a simple devotee, unassuming, humble devotee, just doing our day-to-day practices, the process of bhakti will 100% will elevate us for sure. Will 100% elevate us. And you all are a personification of that. Right? Many of you are a personification of that. So the only problem starts when we try to plan our life, when we try to chalk out our future, and we try to mold our life according to an ordinary material person in this world. That is a problem. Because Krishna wants to glorify Krishna wants to glorify every devotee in an unlimited way, to an unlimited degree. So we all have that amazing capability, and this is Krishna consciousness means the advent a life which is full of positive adventure, full of progress, full of change. So that's what we are here for. That's what we are here for doing wonderful service like our GBC Mother Malati. She actually single-handedly she did an amazing service, which is forever remembered in ISKCON, and it's amazing. Right? So we draw so much faith and so much inspiration from that. So by constantly speaking about Krishna, by hearing from Krishna, by hearing from Prabhupada, and by putting full faith in what Prabhupada has said, then we can attain all the perfection. So, of course, I am nobody to speak anything about Grahastha life. I myself am not a Grahastha. So all I can do is appreciate. But yeah, all we can say is Prabhupada's devotees, Prabhupada's disciples are the example that Krishna consciousness is simple. If you are very simple and you put unflinching faith, then for sure we can make unlimited progress in Krishna consciousness. And that is the real thing. That is the real measure. Like, yeah, Nayan Sundari Mataji is what an amazing example. That how anyone could understand, she was just, just an ordinary person, that she would attain such a kind of, such a kind of mercy. What kind of mercy did she actually attain? That is the real attainment. The real attainment is mercy. At the end of her life, her spiritual master was there for so long. For so long. I mean, yes, you can think that, oh, this is Guru, so Guru. No. Guru, Guru does not need to do that. But why did he do that? Because he wanted to show that if anyone practices this process, then one can attain that kind of mercy. And then ultimately, before leaving the world, she paid her obeisances in such a very difficult condition. She paid her obeisances to all the devotees before leaving. And what does that show? That shows that she has a very special mercy of Krishna. And ultimately, she went back to the spiritual world. So the thing is, these are examples that the process works. And even though a devotee's life may be different, may not be the same as normal people in this world, but ultimately that is the destination of a devotee. That is the destination of a devotee. So, yeah, so Prabhupada's process works. Krishna's mercy is eternal. Krishna's mercy never fails. Prabhupada's mercy never fails. So we just have to stay in the boat. We just have to stay in the process and try to increase our standard of surrender, of dependence. The real achievement for a devotee is, as Radha Maharaj says, is dependence. The more we have to depend on Krishna, depend on Srila Prabhupada. It's like, for example, we to chanting the holy name after doing some service. We go to Prabhupada, we go to Guru and say, I tried my best. But ultimately, it's only your mercy that is going to make this sadhana or this seva complete. So in the same way, in our household, we're doing whatever we can to please Srila Prabhupada, to please Guru. And oh Srila Prabhupada, oh Guru Maharaj, please shower your causeless mercy and make this offering complete. Make this offering complete. So that's all we have to. I mean, we need to say, we need to desire, and then everything will be wonderful. I'm really sorry if I spoke anything inappropriate or used any words. My intention was just to say that Prabhupada's process is complete, Prabhupada's process is practical, Prabhupada's process is joyful, and Prabhupada's process is the most amazing process. So that was my only intention, and I'm very fallen. You all are, very exalted devotees. I can see that Guru and Krishna are so pleased with you, are so pleased with you. You are so dedicated to the temple, all of you. I mean, I cannot properly glorify all of you. All of you are doing such amazing service, so humble and so serious in bhakti. So yeah, you are following the process, and for sure, like just like Nansudri Mataji is a shining example. So I'm sure that most, or maybe even all of you will not take birth again in this world. So I need the blessings of all of you. All of you are going to go back to Godhead. Please bless me that I can become a serious devotee. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripasnabhyavacha Paitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavanta Vaishnavindu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anyone has any question or comment? We'll end it. It's late. Yeah, I'm ending online. Srila
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Dandavat Pranam, says Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, very nice, inspiring, hope-giving class today, especially emphasizing on the mood of Srila Prabhupada. Very many points to take away from. The most important point that I liked today was doing our following Krishna consciousness, simply staying simple and doing the regular things in a regular way. That is a very hope-giving point, Prabhuji. Day in, day out, there are so many struggles. So just keeping that point in mind, and also you mentioned instead of mixing Hindutva and Krishna consciousness, that is risky. And in case of arguments, following what Prabhupada had to say, these are very practical points, Prabhuji. Thank you for a wonderful class today.
No, but it's true also. Prabhupada did say, and like Prabhupada said things like, when devotees disagree, then that is spiritual. So the thing is, even if I'm just saying, there's disagreement in the house between children and parents, so it's not that, or between spouse and wife and husband, it's not that we all have to be the same. It's not that we all have to think the same. We have to, no, we can be different. Like
Yes.
there's no problem with that. As long as we all have our individual, surrender to Krishna, that's fine. Like everyone does not have to be the same. Like even in the temple sometimes, when you're dressing on the altar, I like to dress this way, I feel inspired to dress this way, and another devotee feels to dress a different way. So there is not that I am wrong, he is right, or he is wrong, I am right. No, it's, individuality, you know is at the heart of spiritual rasa, so there is no problem. So we don't
Yes.
have to visually make things equal, and even if there is misunderstanding, that's okay. I mean, then as long as we can resolve it in a Krishna conscious way, there is no problem.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Anyone else has any other question or comment online?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, emphasizing on Grihastha life and focus on Prabhupada, like 4 points mentioned, chanting, those things. But Grihastha like me, fallen. not able to come to the temple every day or not following strict rules like other Growth devotees. But thank you so much. Your class is like amazing today.
Actually, the thing is that we have to make, for those of you, I know some situations are there that you're unable to do that, but the best thing is actually to make the home into Vrindavan. That's the best actually. So in the home, put different pictures of the different holy places, put Kirtan of Srila Prabhupada, have the deities. And the home, Prabhupada said that, we should mold our life in such a way that we can always think of Krishna. Of course, I am nobody to say something about this. I'm completely, unqualified, but yeah, but as much as possible, if we can do that, that will be very wonderful. We can plan, planning is very important, especially in Grasta life or anywhere. You see, planning is very important. So I also see my service, when I plan it ahead, it's very nice, it's very relishable. In the same way, if we plan our Grasta life, then our Grasta life as a family, if you plan, taking everyone's considerations into, I mean, everyone's responsibilities into consideration, then then there is no problem. I mean, there's always going to be a problem in this world. That's unavoidable. But yeah. Okay, so we'll end here. Srila Prabhupada ki